Good morning, my friend. I am live on Tuesday in Costa Mesa, California, and this is your Namaste Today. Good morning and namaste and welcome to Namaste Today in the Zodiac weather. I'm your host and Sensei to Sirius joy, Christopher Witecki, at your service here to stand in my heart and walk in the light. It is a pleasure to see you again. Thank you so much for streaming the show. I'm lovecasting live today from Costa Mesa, California, preparing for a trip. I'm going to actually do a light walk parade across America over the next year and meet viewers and connect to good doers and see what's going on kind of the fabric of the country. But this week I'm preparing and I'm in the garden studios. So we have this beautiful setting and I can count on it, which I really like. Both sides of the coin are great, right? You have to experience both to appreciate both. So here I am, and we're in the month of Gemini. So we're in the month of Gemini, and step 25 is the ruling step of the day. So today, I'm going to give you some guidance on how to handle all this vibration in your personal sensei. Then, of course, our Act 2 segment will be the cosmic clock, and I'll be reaching out on a deeper level for the light walkers out there learning or wanting to learn more. And we'll talk about the position of the planets, and we'll talk about how it's light cast day today, the new moon, the most powerful day to manifest our intentions. And then in Act 3, I have your zodiac weather and your personal forecast for how I think your life is changing. All of that in today's Namaste Today. But first, let's start our day in a grasshopper way with our personal sensei. Hello, my friend. This is your personal sensei for Tuesday, June 16th, 2015. You may feel a little anxious today. The cosmic clock and the cycle and circle of human race has come to a major turning point. In each of us, inside, we are creating or planting a seed. This seed is a thought. It is a thought that will lead, hopefully, to many things. You may be dealing with the core seed, depending on your meditation. You may be dealing with the outer seed. What would the difference be? Well, the core seed would be that you know what your heart wants, and you know you're going to pursue that and plant that into the world. The outer seed might be you think your heart wants this thing right now, and you think your heart wants it, and you know your heart wants this, but you don't know what the core is, so you're planting that seed. Both will lead to the core of you, all right? So it's all good, whatever you want to manifest and express. But I will say, as your Sensei to Sirius joy, that thoughts become things. They really do. They're incredibly powerful. They set the entire framework for how consciousness all organizes. So even the smallest thought or the smallest attitude problem will corrupt the entire matrix experience for you. And you'll think that the world's out to get you when really the matrix is running your program perfectly. Your mind thinks that. Your mind is looking for the world to get you, and the world starts to get you or wants to get you or keys your car. So today is a powerful day. You might see in the timing and circle of things in your life that you're kind of on this edge of things about to all change. It's all changing because your mind is changing. You're changing the way you think about things. You're changing the way where you feel comfortable. You used to feel comfortable with this. Now maybe you're thinking, I'm comfortable with that. This is a time when the human race is going back and forth. And what this is all to do and what the motive is for all this is our heart. We've now come to this place where nothing's on fire. The world isn't sinking. The stock market hasn't crashed. We have a little bit in savings. We're at this point where we could go for what our heart wants. We could go after that. Oh, but there's risk. Well, any risk involved is simply that you haven't looked to see what could go wrong. There's no risk when you know what could go wrong. Not really. You know the risk. It's fully calculated. And your heart goes, am I greater than that risk? But the point is, you got to go through the steps, and that's why I'm the serious step guy, all about the steps. You got to go through the conscious steps to get to protecting yourself. So today, I think we are all ready to step out into this new way of thinking, to plant this new seed, to go forward. And we might feel a little vulnerable. We might feel like something could go wrong. And I'm saying if you think something could go wrong, you need to just go check your exits. Make sure you have a backup plan. Do you have a parachute? Oh, then fine. And that's what the mind needs, is that security. Like, okay. And at the end of the day, those things may play out in the last scenario. They may not. But if you think through those things, and that way you can stop thinking about if something could go wrong, you can get on to the things that can go right. So today, it's about going down this new road. It's about planting this new seed. This new seed will stick around for a long time, my friend. And the question is, like I said yesterday, is this new seed, this new way of thinking, this new door opening, is it from what your heart wants, or is it what your ego wants? Does your heart want to, your heart wants to shine and feel good and be happy. All right? Our egos want to win, want to show people. All right? The heart doesn't really care usually if you're winning, as long as it gets what it wants. It's won as far as it's concerned. I got what I wanted. It's already won. Doesn't need to tell anybody. So this is about your mind and whether or not your mind is letting you have what your heart wants. And I'm saying to you today, well, one of the things that might be keeping your mind from getting your heart having what it wants is that you're worried there's a risk involved. I'm saying if you think there's a risk involved, well, that's that you haven't thought through to see what the risks are and giving yourself a backup plan. Maybe that's a sophisticated way of dodging it. But we're at this point where you're going to see everything start to move and pick up pace here on Earth real quickly this week. So one thought leads to a next, leads to a next. It's like an internet site. It's like as soon as you say yes, you're like 25 sites in. You don't even know what you ended up searching for. But holy crap, they have this over there in Britain? You know what I mean? And that's kind of how this is. My job here as Sensei to Sirius Joy is to say, hey, please take the leap, make the jump. Jump for that mental ecstasy. If thinking about it makes your heart light up and you're delighted, then it's time to commit to that and see what that links to, 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 and let yourself go. So many of my clients, I don't know where the mic was going just now, but it was away. So many of my clients are like, I can't get out of my life. I feel stuck. I feel trapped. And it's because they don't let their mind, first of all, their mind is there to serve the heart. Second of all, they don't ask their heart, what does it want? And then thirdly, when the heart says, well, I want this, they don't let their mind link out of it. This is true for men, for instance, men who I counsel who are going through midlife crisis. It's like, does your heart want to go play with another girl? Yes, it does. But it's like, no, hold on. Your heart said it did. The mind is making all these buts. I didn't say go have an affair. I'm saying let's be real with ourselves and think for the truth and what our heart really wants, and let's go from there. Let's go there. And today, that's what's so important and vital. Are your thoughts centered around what your heart wants? Is your thinking and day-to-day processing centered around fear? Is your thinking and processing centered around winning? Is it centered around getting ahead? Those are all ego stuff. Or is it centered around, oh my God, my heart would love this, oh my God. Because if it's around that one, in my experience, you're on the path to serious joy, my friend. You're on the path to serious joy. So today, your joy question, you choose to accept it, is to mentally accept where you really belong. All you got to do today is just accept the truth. This is where I belong. I don't know what I'm going to do about it. This is where I belong. That is, I think, your joy quest. And your phrase of the day to keep you on your way is, I feel my heart today, and I know where I belong. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. So moving on to Act 2, before we go, let's look at today's telepathy. From my temple to yours, I'm meeting one of these three Geminis. And today the theme is Gemini athletes. So I'm beaming to you one of these three Gemini athletes, known very well for their precision athletics. Which one of these athletes am I thinking about? I'll have the answer in the beginning of Act 3 in the Zodiac Weather. Is it number 1, Lou Gehrig, number 2, Joe Namath, or number 3, Venus Williams? Which of these Geminis am I thinking of? I'll have the answer in Act 3. Keep streaming for Act 2 or jump ahead for your personal Zodiac weather in Act 3. Either way, I'll see you shortly. Live, love, be. And here we are with the Cosmic Clock. Namaste today, Act 2. Hello, Lightwalker and Lightwalkers in training. Welcome to today. It is Tuesday. It is Lightcast Day. This is a powerful day when you study the world's energetics. And that's basically what this is. There are frequencies to the earth, and what we study as astrologers, numerologers, and metaphysicians is the frequency in which things happen. So the planets give us a very complex clock as to how frequent something is by the rate of how the planets move around. Pluto hitting the same spot is not very frequent, every 249 years. All right? Not very frequent that Pluto hits a spot. And strangely enough, it represents the final line, So the slowest moving frequencies and how frequent that is, and us human beings, we seem to be integrated with those frequencies. And when the world's frequency changes, like the winds changing at sea, you are forced to either buckle down and face the wind or use it to your advantage, and that's what this is all about. So looking at today's Cosmic Clock, it is Lightcast Day, my friend. We're at step 25. That means that the key states of awareness are I feel, and the second key state is I think. Now when I feel and I think come together, this adds to a 7, I sense. So the trifecta there, the tone we are hitting is our feelings, our thoughts, and our psychic awareness are uniting in today's light. This is a combination or a stellium of 3 planets working together in pretty powerful. First, of course, is the Sun at step 25. The second is Mars at step 24. Now, Mars is a step behind. So the Sun today officially has crossed Mars. They were kind of holding hands there for a few days. There were starting to be some rumors out there. But now they are starting to separate. That is our ego and our thoughts as one. But today they still work as one, which means an action will change your thinking will change your actions. The two are wired together. And then, of course, the moon is crossing. Our emotions are skimming across this union of ourselves. So we're getting emotionally excited, hopefully, and that's what Lightcast Day is, emotionally excited about this union of our own ego and our thought and our attitude and where we belong. And since it is a step 25 day, which adds to a 7, it turns out to be a day that benefits our spirit, 7. And it is indeed benefiting our spirit because at step 25, adding to a 7, that is a spiritual part of us, which you could say in very simple layman's terms, people's subconscious are most likely programming today. Only those who are aware and consciously programming would otherwise override that 7, right? So it's a fascinating day. Now, I mentioned this yesterday. All this energy opposes Saturn, and the opposition to Saturn is at step 29. So we are basically creating this new mindset with this in the background idea that we have to hold on tight to our emotional boundaries. And that's true, we do. We're about to change ourselves pretty radically. So we're changing what feelings we fight for or don't fight for. Step 29 is 2, I feel, and 9, I act. So what we're doing is we're redetermining which feelings will trigger an action and what action. And we're also determining what actions and how they make us feel. So this is the final cherry on top of personal boundaries. Saturn will actually move one more step back to step 28 before it goes direct. So grounding Lightcast Day is your emotional boundaries. This means that for you and your clients, it's like if they're freaking out, they should be mindful of where their limits are. It's like, okay, what's your limit? If you're having an anxiety attack, at what point do you call a doctor? What's your limit? I mean, when you know your limit, it's so easy to know if you're crossing it or not, If your limit is, I can't stand this woman anymore, it's like, okay, at what point will you decide that it's time for a breakup? What's your limit? If it gets crossed, it's so clear. There's nothing to think about. So if we define our emotional limits, we're going to find that we feel a lot better. And if your clients are having a hard time calming down, I would walk them through their emotional limits with them. Hold their hand and walk them through. Now, the third thing is Venus and Jupiter working together in their heart. This is our heart working together. Amazing conjunction here. One amazing thing is that Venus, she's at step 10. Step 10 is I manifest. So on Lightcast Day, yeah, of course you want to manifest. That's pretty amazing there as far as that degree and the fact that she's at that degree today. But if it were not amazing, check this out. Jupiter is at step 19. He was at step 18 yesterday, but today on Lightcast Day, step 19. What's step 19? I manifest. So our Venus and our Jupiter, which is a star of Bethlehem coming together basically, these two are coming together, and today, indeed, this is some sort of manifestation of the heart. Why the heart? Well, because we're in Leo with these two planets, and Leo is our heart. So this is God stirring our heart, if you want to put it that way. Now, Uranus is also at step 19 today and trining Jupiter exactly. Now that Jupiter's at 19, Uranus is at 19, that means the puzzle is complete. What's the puzzle? Well, Uranus, which is driving us to build a new ego, to build a new drive, what do I chase after? What do I spend my time doing? That's all Uranus and Aries. That's all Aries. What do I do? What do I spend my time doing? Well, now the heart, Jupiter, has caught up to that. So it's like, oh, I know what to do, says the heart, Jupiter and Leo. Do this. And Uranus is like, okay. Like, I think it was just waiting for a good instruction from the queen or the king, which is your heart, depending on your gender, right? And it's time to listen to that and let these trines go into effect. So it's time, basically, for you to follow your heart. It's time to instruct your clients to follow their heart. Like, encourage them to go for it. If everything is safe and they've put up their boundaries, encourage them. I think this would be a time where they'll have amazing results. Then Pallas is in Sagittarius, hitting the high note of where beliefs could go. Saturn's at the bottom level, of course. I mean, really now at 29 Scorpio, but Saturn is really going to head back to Sagittarius once we're done with our boundaries. But Pallas, which is Jupiter's daughter, is at step 19 and retrograde. That means, in essence, the way I interpret this is 19, again, more manifestation. What are we manifesting? Well, in Sagittarius, step 19 would be the religion, or what I like to say is the me-ligion, because I think everyone needs their own me-ligion. So I think we are all manifesting a me-ligion, but because it's retrograde, we're manifesting a preliminary me-ligion. Okay? Which means that the client will likely, or the universe is telling me as an astrologer, that God's going to give us a chance to rewrite this later, because right now it's in a retrograde, which means that we're probably loading or uploading past life memories into this that we can work out through first, and then once we work out through the past life subconscious issues, then we'll go conscious with what will actually be our me-ligion. Of course, until Saturn hits this spot, it's all moot anyways. Then the last thing I want to talk about is the North Node, which is now at step 6 Libra. Now, step 6 Libra is a powerful step. Number 6 is what Libra rules. Libra is the 6. Libra is the ability to throw 4 here and 2 there and balance it, or 5 and 1, or like that's how Libra's like, ooh, I'll just work with all these 6s, all these points in the 6, all these points of consciousness in the 6. So Libra works with 6 points of consciousness. And the North Node is saying, hey, it's time to be 6 in the 6, right? And 666, if you don't know, is a positive good thing. I think it was a total conspiracy on Earth to make it be a negative thing so that you wouldn't go near the good source of love, because 666 is how the universe opens up, right? So the universe is saying, hey, open up. 6 in Libra is open up to the perfect marriage to yourself, the perfect marriage. And of course, the perfect marriage involves the perfect me-ligion. And I think that's the me, and the I of the Gemini right now. So I think we are manifesting today all of what I have said. Boy, these will get a little bit longer. I hope that you guys like the longer segment for those who stick around for the advanced segments here, for those who are learning deeper. Tell me if they're still too long, I'll cut them down. But I just start running wild when my mouth isn't held back from worried about going over people's heads. But I love you, and let's move on now to Act 3 and your Zodiac weather. What does it take to find love these days? Huh? What's your greatest strengths? How do you love? I'll tell you all the nuances about you. Dating, what kind of gifts you want, what kind of marriage you want, what kind of person you want to live with and don't want to live with, and of course how you love, how you lust, what you're drawn after, who chases you, and your greatest lesson, which is often a weakness. Your birthday love and lust report has that answer. We'll reveal your secrets on video at secretsofbirthdays.com. And welcome back to Namaste Today, Act 3. Well, for the answer to today's telepathy, We're looking at Gemini athletes, 3 Gemini athletes through history of time, always done very well. And I think one of the reasons why Geminis do so well is because their minds can calculate and talk to that body faster than most of our minds can. And I asked you, which of these 3 Geminis am I thinking of? Is it number 1, Lou Gehrig, of which the disease, of course, is named after? Number 2, Joe Namath, which is probably the biggest name in my childhood for sports? Or number 3, Venus Williams? And the answer is Venus Williams. Why? Well, of course, I think she is the modern cool. I think that she represents ultimately where sports are going. Very female and woman-based as well. I love her name, Venus Ebony Star Williams. Whoever named her knew she was for something great right from the beginning. Very cool. And if you'd like to know, she is a step 26 Gemini. That is a master Gemini with a focus of precision, 8, right? Adds to an 8. You want to know another great 8? Another great 8 is Tiger Woods. He is a step 8 of Capricorn step 8. So he's a step 8, step 8. That is a super, super calculated kind of person. So interesting stuff, and I pay my respects to Venus Williams. And I'm assuming she calls herself Venus. It's not Venice, but it might be. That's my ignorance. And but my mind's like, it must be Venus, like the planet. Now let's move on to today's rock and roll gospel. I believe that love, laughter, and song are very, very much important for you to laugh at yourself all day like I do. And if you want to live in serious joy, which is a state of being, not a destination, then give yourself the primary ingredients. A little bit of self-love, laugh at something, even if it's a rerun, and sing. Do some singing. Sing out loud. All right? Now, today's song is really awesome and poetic. I'm bringing back in one of the master Gemini musicians. I brought him up before. He's coming back today for a reprise. It is Paul McCartney. And Paul McCartney, of course, was a Beatle, and now is Paul McCartney. He was born June 18, 1942. He's a step 17 Gemini. Adds to an 8, again, a precise Gemini. So here's a very precise Gemini, precise kind of musician. And today's song I thought was so cool because this is kind of what we're talking about. Ebony and Ivory, right? Living in perfect harmony. And he's saying, of course, this was Stevie Wonder, who was born May 13th and a step 22 Taurus. So he was an innovative Taurus, is an innovative Taurus. I speak like he's dead. He's an innovative Taurus. Forgive me, Stevie. Gosh. But these two got together, of course, they made a great song. I think this is a great Lightwalker song. I think this is a great song about how we have to live in life with our light and dark, with both keys. But look at these keys when they're together on a keyboard. It makes beautiful music together. It's so true and poetic. And it's true also with our inner life, the parts of us that are shadow. Not saying that black people are shadow, because I think to a black person, the white person is a shadow. The white person is the one they're afraid of. So, you know, it's all about polarities and what is your enemy and what is not, and what is perceived as your enemy. It doesn't matter what the color is, of course, but when they work together, some great harmony. So I think that's true in yourself, the shadow, the unknown, what you don't know, whether that's the white key or the dark or the black key, whatever you don't know, whatever you don't understand, bring that in together into harmony today. And that is, of course, my advice with the rock and roll gospel. And this will play right after this video, by the way, if you're watching on NamasteToday.tv or if you're watching on YouTube in the Namaste Today Parade playlist. But before you go off and sea breeze with Paul McCartney, let's take a look at the moods of each of your brothers and sisters today, and a special soul vitamin. And today's special soul vitamin ties into our rock and roll gospel. I'll be telling you, where is your ebony and ivory on your keyboard for each of the 12 signs in the order of 11 steps of serious joy, starting with the secret step, Step 0, Scorpios. Scorpios, sunny and fertile today on this Lightcast day. You are manifesting powerfully. And as you manifest, you want to bring your trust and your mind together. Those are the 2 keys on your keyboard that must play together, your ebony and ivory. Now, there I would say the darker is your mind. Okay, not your trust. You can trust when you want to. It's your mind that can sometimes go dark, and that today is where you need to incorporate. Step 1, the Leos. Sunny and social today on Lightcast Day, but it's time to bring the ebony and ivory together with your popularity, being popular, and also being healthy. All right, so you can go as bright as you want. Just make sure you stay balanced and healthy. Step 2, the Cancers. Sunny and spiritual today. But your ebony and ivory you need to bring together is your ability to be faithful and your ability to be married. Hey, this is what the planets say. I'm not kidding. You've got to be able to be faithful and stay married. And every Cancer I know is worried about their marriage. Step 3, the Sagittarius is sunny and sentimental today. It's time for you to bring your ebony and ivory together when it comes to your long-term relationships and your ability to make money. So again, marriages and money have to be brought together. Somehow not working so well for the Sagittarius. Step 4, the Aquarius is sunny and childlike today on Lightcast Day. But it's time to bring ebony and ivory together of true love, which is huge for an Aquarius, and faith. So having faith and being in love at the same time, maybe just too much to ask for in this lifetime, is it? I don't know. We'll see. Step 5, happy birthday to the Gemini. Sunny and super cool on Lightcast Day. Your ebony and ivory to bring together in perfect harmony is your ego and your behavior and your trust. So it's time to completely trust your behavior. And I think where you go dark is trusting yourself. That's where your dark key can be at times. Step 6, the Librans, sunny and passionate today. But your ebony and ivory is believing and feeling it at the same time. All right, so I think Librans tend to only feel when it's safe, you know, but you got to feel it and believe it consistently in an awesome flow, and that's when you'll be playing like music. Step 7, the Pisces, sunny, nesting, and resting today. Your ebony and ivory is feeling good within yourself and being able to be out in the world with others. Usually Pisces can only feel good away alone, right? So bringing those two together will be your perfect harmony. Step 8, the Capricorns, sunny and hyper aware of your reality today. Your ebony and ivory is living and healthy in the moment and being in power at the same time. Seems that Capricorns can't be in power and healthy. Usually they choose one or the other. Time to bring them together, my friend. Step 9, the Aries, sunny and hyper-minded today on the new moon. Your ebony and ivory is your ability to stay focused and stay decisive at the same time. All right, so hard for you to stick to decisions and be focused on that, says the astrology. Step 10, the Tauruses, sunny and manifesting today, the fellow bulls. And your ebony and ivory is making money and remaining priceless and at the same time remaining open to learning. So Tauruses tend to want to always buckle down on what they've already learned to make money. It's time to actually make money and stay flexible and keep learning at the same time. I know that's a toughie. Step 11's the Virgos, sunny and professional today. Your ebony and ivory is remaining decisive, which is a big deal because you're always fretting over the details, and loving at the same time. Wow, right. So it's kind of hard for Virgos to remain critical and love at the same time. Figure that out, put that in a bottle, and you'll be rich, right? And that wraps up today's Zodiac weather. Well, that about wraps up today's Namaste Today. In closing, I want to say happy Lightcast Day. I'll be sending you love and light in my personal meditation, and with what I believe I can do that. That's the way the universe is, very magical. Hey, Creator, send everyone that watches the show some extra light. I think it gets delivered. So watch for yours today. There'll be a gift from my heart to you. Also, if you're watched over by the Personal Sensei Network, today at 9 a.m., I'll describe what you are light casting in your inner world today. And at 3 p.m., look for what you're light casting in your outer world. So you can kind of calibrate and get yourself focused for that. And don't forget, I offer personal readings. I'm on the road, but I do set aside a couple of days for readings. And right now I have video readings, so you can actually see yourself on camera. And these are really cool because could you imagine if you could watch your grandma's video reading from 1920? Wouldn't that be cool? That's the way it's going to be, folks. So document this stuff. You know, getting a reading will help you. It serves you. It gives you an example and a chronology of your life. Find out more at soulmart.me. And I want to remind everyone that our rock and roll gospel music videos will play in our playlist here following the video if you're watching on YouTube. We thank you very much for subscribing. And if you're watching at namastetoday.tv, you'll also find them playing afterwards. So today, I'd like you to have a wonderful day. I love you. I'm sending you love and light. And remember, mentally accept where you really belong today. So just try to mentally get your mind around that and accept as you leap into the unlimited possibilities, all right? And accept your new reality. That's what Lightcast Day is. The mind will accept the program, and I think reality will follow. I'll see you tomorrow with more. I love you, and live, love, be.
This is just so ironic.